this is the D Tycoon Show, Community Unity Now, all about a better community and good politics. We have with us today, my name is Trudy Leong, and Bill Morton and I co-host the D Tycoon Show. We rotate hosting duties, and today we have a very special guest, Ashley Taylor of Bullets for Life.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ashley.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
First of all, this is the D Tycoon, and thank you so much, Catherine D Tycoon, for having us on the show and giving us an opportunity to talk about a better community and good politics. And let's return to the show. Okay, so first of all, Ashley, tell us a little bit about Bullets for Life and how you came to be involved in the organization.
Sure. Bullets for Life was founded in 2016 by Susan Kennedy in South Florida. After the tragic death of King Carter, he was 6 years old. He was killed by a stray bullet in his community.
Mm-hmm. Well, that resonates a lot with what has been happening the last couple of days in Chicago.
Exactly. And I got involved with the mission after losing my cousin in 2015 in the city to gun violence.
In Chicago?
Yes.
Okay. When did Chicago became a chapter of Bullets for Life?
We became a chapter of Bullets for Life in 2018, in January of 2018.
But we had a lot of violence before then, and so did you come on board in Chicago, or were you with Bullets for Life and then came to Chicago as well?
No, actually, I found Susan on social media. I found her on Instagram. I kept seeing her asking people for bullets. She asks for bullets all the time on social media, and so I was just really intrigued by it. I didn't know what it was about at the time. I was just running like a blog on social media, and so I was just
what was
interested.
happening? Were you did you want to find some comfort? Did you want to find some solution to the problem of senseless gun violence?
Yes, actually, at the time I was working at a really good nonprofit here in the city. But when
what was
my
that?
cousin,
what nonprofit was that?
it was Forefront downtown. It was a nonprofit association, and I had the tragic loss of my cousin, and my husband also experienced some losing a family member to senseless gun violence as well. So it was something that kind of shook my world a little bit, and I wasn't able to keep on doing what I was doing. I had to pull myself back and try to figure out how I can use my skills to help my community more.
You wanted to shift gears and then
Pretty much.
address what was like troubling you, what was in you.
Of course, because I couldn't keep, going about my day-to-day married life downtown, working in the financial district, just, all like nothing's going on the other side of the bridge, so.
What was your first task when you came on board at Bullets for Life?
Development. Building a foundation. Susan had already done an awesome job being in the community with outreach, with social media presence. She had already done that, and really not understanding the gravity of what she was dealing with. She just went out there and did it. And so when I came on board, I saw the need to just build a foundation and structure, and so that's what we began to do.
Because you were telling me earlier that Susan Kennedy, she built the organization, but she also built it from her own money.
Yes, she did. Susan Kennedy has gone. Her story is amazing. She experienced a lot of loss to bring forth and to birth this mission. She is a mother of three, a single mom of three, and she has dedicated her entire life to pushing this mission, letting people know that their life is simply worth more than the senseless gun violence that's happening and these bullets that are taking our children. She funded this entire mission from the beginning out of her pocket. And so now when I came on board, we just started to find ambassadors all over that were willing to do the same.
So there wasn't any vice president of development before you. You were the first one.
Yes, no, she was already working with the vice president, but they weren't really focused on development. It wasn't until she met me, yes, and that was really where the focus changed and we started to develop.
About how much money were you able to raise for the organization?
Well, so far, I can't really put a dollar amount on it because I can't really put a dollar amount on it because it's like, as soon as I came on board, it's like we just thought about expanding and going because it was never really about the money. We give our accessories. Our accessories are free for mothers who've lost a child or children to gun violence. We do sell our accessories, but and that money that we receive goes right back into the organization. So it was really never like about how much money we can make and try to get this marathon. It was just more about how many people we can touch and how many lives we could help change and help find this their purpose through this pain.
Tell us a little bit about how you actually get the bullets off the street.
We ask. We just simply ask people. We go up to people, whether we are in the beauty salon or in the grocery store or whenever we feel like it's necessary, and we just ask people a simple question: have they been affected by senseless gun violence? And usually the conversation goes in a way where our mission can get conveyed and people understand.
So you don't have to do events. You just walk the streets and then meet people and then.
Yeah, that too, and events. We have bullet drives as well. Yeah, where people can. We have like community events in Inglewood where people can come and donate bullets at a specific time.
And you said that you will ask for one bullet, but do
Yes.
sometimes people give you more?
Yes, and then we have campaigns also too. Sometimes we had a campaign where people can donate 5 or more and they get a free accessory, or they can donate 10 or more and they get a free accessory. But usually when we're just talking to people and raising awareness in the community, we just simply ask for one bullet because that's all it really takes to help us save a life, because that one bullet will help us make an accessory for a mom who's lost her child to gun violence in honor of her child's life, and keep that mission alive.
Here, let's show the audience a little of these beautiful bracelets. Every bracelet has one a bullet on it,
Yes.
and here, let me one bullet.
Yes.
And then tell us a little bit about how long it takes for your artisans to make one bullet and what's inside that bullet.
Okay, so every bullet is repurposed with a purpose, and that's the whole point of our mission. So when we receive a bullet, we basically take the life out of it, and we use what's called a bullet puller. It looks like a hammer, and you just basically put the live bullet in it, and then you just bang it on a wooden piece, or, usually wooden piece. And we do this all lubricated to make sure that there is no popping sounds or noises. Usually it's a quiet process, but it
And then
usually...
the gunpowder comes out of it.
Yes, it will come out of the hammer, and it'll drop down in the little kit holder, and it'll be the brass piece that comes off the bullet, and it'll be the gunpowder. And then we will put that over into a solution that kills the toxins of the gunpowder, and then we take the brass piece and wash it off and clean it really well, and then that gets glued onto our mirror of life.
What's a mirror of life?
Our mirror of life is our way of reflecting life back into our communities. The brass piece that comes off, or the lead piece that comes off the front of the bullet, that's the part that goes into the life. That's the part that takes the life. And so with that's the piece that we take and we put to our mirror, because that's our guarantee. That's how we show that bullet that we took will never take a life. And then also too, it's that very literal approach to that man in the mirror, because it starts with you. It starts with us, realizing the value that our lives really hold, and that we have the choice to make better decisions. And so with our kids in our No Bullet Zone workshops, a part of our anti-gun violence initiative, the kids are the ones that usually glue the brass pieces on the mirror.
So that is what other events do you have besides these artistic workshops?
Yeah, we have the Pop and Heal,
What's
which
that?
is it's 2 main programs that we're rolling out for our anti-gun violence initiative, which has 4 major parts. But right now we're focusing on workshops with the family. We're focused on moms and kids, that sometimes people say forgotten kids, siblings of, kids who have lost their lives to senseless gun violence. So we do Pop and Heal workshops for moms who have lost their kids to gun violence. We basically do that because nobody can walk in their shoes. Nobody knows what it feels like to walk in their shoes. So our moms walk our carpet to reclaim their power and take the life out of those bullets, while proclaiming no more, and their commitment to end gun violence by keeping the life of their child alive. And then we also have the No Bullet Zone workshop, which is that's our kids workshop. That's our mobile workshop I was telling you about, where we go into the schools, much like DARE and, like #truth and stuff like that. That is our significantly big mission for our kids, to just...
What kind of schools? Grammar schools, high schools?
Any schools, like anywhere where we're welcome. We just go in with our anti-gun violence initiative and our educational talk and have kids design bracelets.
When you do the principals and parents ask you to go to the school, or does Bullets for Life ask the schools, may we come in?
No, usually, so far we've been contacted. Yeah, usually we're contacted, and then we'll send over information. We have consent forms for parents when it comes to their kids and everything like that. So we have all like a full information packet we'll send over if they're interested in taking advantage of our programs, and then we'll go from there.
Do you ever have any like a before and after? Do people come up to you and say that after you've come, there's this change that happened in our community, and what was that? What was that like?
Yeah, usually it's the kids. You see, it's usually with the kids. They grasp the idea of it so well, and especially when you see them leaving out of our workshops and they're running up to their parents afterwards and they're like, look, like my life is more than a bullet. And that's a quote. A little girl did that. You know, like, so when we see those little things, it's little stuff like that we see where people are grasping it and they're absorbing it and they're understanding what we mean. We're not trying to change anybody's what they got going on. Like, we're coming in with this piece that's valuable, that's just bringing some value back to life. That's all. Like, your life is just simply worth more than a bullet, and we just want to show you how.
Reaffirms the Bullets for Life's purpose.
Yes, exactly. You know, we're about shifting mindsets and changing hearts one bullet at a time.
What has been the most difficult for Bullets for Life to accomplish? You have so much going on, but what has been a difficult project, and how has Bullets for Life overcome that?
One of the most difficult things that we have run into is making sure that we have enough supplies for the states that we're in, because we are not just in Chicago. We are in Chicago and Florida and New Jersey and Atlanta and Indiana and Memphis, Tennessee. So having all of our leaders and our executive ambassadors in those states, right now Susan and I fund and supply those states until they are able to start popping and making their own accessory lines. So Susan and I kind of support that. So that's been like as big as we grow, the demand is growing. So especially since Miss Nancy Pelosi has been wearing our bracelet, we've gotten an influx of orders, which is good.
Yes.
We're building a team now, a bigger team.
Absolutely. How did Nancy Pelosi come to hear about the Bullets for Life?
From Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. She is in Florida. She's a congresswoman in Florida, and she attended a workshop that Susan had in Florida, and Nancy Pelosi was coming to visit her office, and she wanted to find something to gift her with, and she thought about the bracelet with the bullet, and so she gave Ms. Pelosi the bracelet, and ever since then she has been wearing it everywhere faithfully in honor of those lives that have been lost to senseless gun violence.
In honor, because you also mentioned that inside the bullet there's a piece of paper.
Yes, there is. Every bullet, so again, repurpose with a purpose. There is a scripture or a loving saying, a strong saying, anything that the designer or the purchaser desires, we put that into the bullet. So inside of the bullet, and I write it on some of the shell casing so that I can remember. If I make a lot of them, because I just had an event, so I made a lot of them. But inside of that bullet is a powerful scripture, or meaning, or saying that replaces the gunpowder.
Absolutely. Are there any memorials in there that people perhaps just memorializing someone that they lost through senseless violence?
Yeah, all the time, all the time. With our fiscal sponsor, Impact Family Center, our youth that come for the after-school program, many of them have put messages in their bracelets. This bracelet that I have on right now was made by one of the students. So they put their own messages in the bracelets. They can find their own scriptures. It's really up to them what they want to put in there.
How did the fiscal sponsorship come about with Impact Family?
Actually, that's a really interesting story, because I met the director of development for Impact Family Center at our launch party. We had a launch party in late 2018 and at Lax Energy Works. They are one of our partners that we work with from time to time, and we did a launch with them. just showcasing who we were, introducing us to Chicago, and Impact Family showed up, and they also showed up with gifts. They do ID Life, and they brought us a lot of samples for our goodie bags and everything like that, so people were able to leave with nice swag bags and accessories that day. And we got a lot of bullets donated that day, so that's how that relationship happened. And so we just kind of stayed in the mix with each other for about a year, and then we decided to make it official. Susan came from Florida and met with the president of Impact Family Center and made it official.
Could you explain to viewers what a fiscal sponsorship is?
Yeah, helping. So the main goal, why we chose to get a fiscal sponsor, was because our overall goal was operational funding. And especially because we wanted to go global, we realized that, funding is hard to come by, especially if we're funding this nonprofit ourselves. And so we wanted to try to start establishing some federal and maybe state funding, local funding, no matter where we were. And so here in Chicago, right off the bat in development, we knew we needed at least a fiscal sponsor, because although Susan had been operating for 3 years, it's like we were starting over again with this new development idea. And so that's what we did. And so Impact Family Center completely loves the idea and full support of our mission and what we're doing, housing us, giving us space. And that's how that.
So they are the 501c3.
Yes.
You're under them, so that you could use their tax exempt status.
Yes, exactly. So that we could acquire grant funding and acquire operational funding overall.
What is your major source of funding now?
Right now, still is out of pocket. Every last one of my lead ambassadors and lead executives, all of us fund this nonprofit ourselves.
What about you said that you wanted to go global. What cities are you approaching now, or what cities are approaching you?
Right now, well, I recently did get a call from Philadelphia.
Okay.
We recently were reached out by Philadelphia, which is amazing, because we do follow a lot of people in Philadelphia who raise awareness about gun violence there. Texas and North Carolina.
Nothing from outside the country yet.
No, but we've had our bracelets travel to Paris.
Well, they're beautiful bracelets. They're very, very beautiful. How much does is one of these actually, like, for the materials? How much does it cost? Do you have any an idea?
Yeah. So, well, the bullet itself, it doesn't cost us anything to get the bullet. But the bracelets, it depends. We shop at Michael's craft store for most of our beads. Florida uses a different manufacturer. Her quality of bracelets is a little bit different. So she uses a different manufacturer, but like a wholesaler. But everyone else, we use Michael's basic craft and store. Beads are
Does
usually
Michael give you a discount since
we use tax exempt status?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
And so that's how the string is fairly affordable, the beads. Like I said, it's just the demand.
And how long does it take to make one bracelet?
One bracelet?
Skill?
Yeah, one bracelet would be like 10 minutes,
Oh,
if even that. And then, because I could kick out about 20 bracelets in an hour, if not more.
And when I went to your website, I think there was a tally about the bullets that you took off the street. Are you up to 5,000
Yes,
now? Or?
totally. Overall, yeah. I'm combining all of our chapters. Yes. Yes.
And how do you input the information as daily, whatever you the ambassadors pick up off the street? You just have somewhere to put it in.
Yeah, we do
into it.
monthly. We do like an inventory check, and so I'll send my president Susan like an inventory check. So Chicago, I know offhand Chicago has raised about 500 bullets, and then Florida being the bulk because they've been doing this much longer than us. But yeah, and everybody else is tallied in there too.
What about monthly? Which city submits the most, or does it vary?
It really does vary because Indiana is really, really good with getting because they're in Gary and they're really good. No, South Bend. I'm sorry, they're in South Bend, Indiana. They're really good at getting bullets.
And convincing the people to give up the bullets.
And it's really not even convincing the people, it's youth. They get bullets from kids more in South Bend, Indiana than adults, and that's the difference. We were talking about just the difference of areas. All of our ambassadors, we coach them and train them to really, really get a really very real temperature read of their area so that they know the exact need and how to approach the community.
We were talking earlier about how the issues differ from
Yeah.
community to community.
Exactly.
So let's say Roseland and Englewood, how do those two communities differ, and then how does that affect your work in getting bullets off the street?
Yeah, well, the exact reason on how they differ is anyone's guess, okay? But like some people have told me, the West Side has more drugs than the South Side has more gangbanging. You know what I mean? It's a difference, and people's perspective of those differences also contribute to the senseless gun violence that we see. People are often afraid to go to different areas, even go from one side of the street to the next, like in the Englewood area. That one small community is segregated by violence, because of violence. So it just depends on the community. Not all the communities are the same, although we all are blanketed under this one issue of senseless gun violence.
You spoke a little bit about the film White Light. Could you
Yes.
discuss it with us?
Sure. So White Light is a very, very fun project that we are embarking on with some amazing directors from Australia, George Gitos and his wife Helen Rose. They are Australian producers and directors. They will be they've basically given us exclusive rights to showcase this film here in Chicago. It had been denied by the Chicago Film Festival here.
Tell us a little bit about the reasons that the Chicago Film Festival denied.
Well, the Chicago Film Festival denied this film for their reasons, stating that the issues that were being addressed in this documentary were too black of issues. And so George and Helen came and found Bullets for Life. And we have agreed, along with a couple of other organizations, Books Over Balls being one, Impact Family Center being another, and Momentum AF, a marketing and advertising company, here have all decided to come together to help showcase this film in our communities and in our city. And hopefully we can be successful in just showcasing the real voices behind the violence that people so-called say that they see. Because it is there, but the reasons why it's there could be very misconstrued or not.
And that is the main content of the film,
Addressing
addressing the issues. What is the root problem of gun? Trying to make sense of and find the roots of gun violence.
And that's exactly what this film is like that discovery, the introduction of that discovery. Because like we were saying, there's just isn't enough research around gun violence and effects and PTSD, and whether or not it's even called PTSD, whether it's a current state of trauma, that we're going through. So there's a lot out there that we are all just steady bringing in. But this film is a big, big, big step towards starting that conversation, especially in our city. And so we're really excited to be part of it.
What is the setting of White Light? Is it Englewood?
It is in the Englewood area.
And did the film derive from Bullets for Life's work, or was it already being produced somewhere, and then the two projects came together?
Yes, it was already being produced somewhere else. George and Helen were already on that mission. They were in Florida, and they met some other people, and so they were already on their mission of doing the documentary. And I kind of met them like midway through social media, because we were doing the March with Father Flager with shutting down the Damn Riot. And so that's when I kind of met them on social media, and they kind of followed my work and I followed their work. And so once they start reaching the issues in Chicago with trying to get the film showcased, then that's when we kind of started to connect more.
And you won, the film already won some awards, right?
Yes, it did. It already won Best Film and Documentary in the Syracuse Film Festival in Australia.
Have you submitted the film to the Academy Awards?
I'm not sure. I don't believe they have, but I believe that Sundance has picked it up.
And so you are trying to have the film screened in Chicago and all around the country as well?
Yep. And Helen and George have done an awesome job of doing that. They've already been in like Los Angeles and different places already. It's just about making sure that this truth and this story is told here.
And they have done other work before in the same vein as to prepare them for something like a project like this.
Exactly. George is no stranger to war zones and war environments. That's why he really wanted to come to Englewood, the Englewood area. So he really knows that he was one of the very first photographers that brought us the images from Rwanda, the genocides in Rwanda, and so he's been around war.
Yes.
So he's depicted it and he's showcased and documented various environments before.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Ashley Taylor of Bullets for Life. And thank you very much, Catherine B. Tycoon, for giving us this opportunity for a show about good politics and a better community. And definitely, Bullets for Life is doing that. And we also want to mention that the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce has a monthly job fair. And my co-host, Bill Morton, is running for committeeman, and he is the main cheerleader and supporter of good politics, great community, a better community, and such people who are working very hard to improve our community, such as Ashley Taylor of Bullets for Life. Thank you very much, and have a great night. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.